What's going on, everybody? Hope you all had a good day. Let's do a little recap here and talk about this buster of a session. So start with the big picture first, guys, and look at net change here. S&P 500 down about 0.5%. We got the Qs over here, guys, down about 0.7, so down about 0.7%. And then we got the energy sector down 1%, industrial sector flat, financial sector flat, transportation sector flat. So we got a whole bunch of noise today, guys, right? At the open, tech is taking a dip, and we see rotation into some finance, into some transportation, and then we see the transportation and financial names fade off. Then you get tech popping, and then comes, 2 o'clock, the Fed comes out, and that was basically the end of the party there. So a couple more here, guys, right? We can look at the utility sector. But all in all, guys, despite all the ups and downs, it's kind of a relatively quiet day here for Wall Street, right? Not crazy strong, and by no means were we weak in any way, shape, or form. So, my thoughts over the next couple of days, guys, is that, you can really go either way right now. The SPY itself is just kind of shrugging along here, and then we take a look at the Qs, which, obviously, guys, we want the SPY to be strong if you're looking for, swing trades to the upside. But the Qs are a little bit more relevant for me personally, being that most of the names on my watch list are tech stocks. So I'm kind of seeing the Qs here, guys, and at least in my opinion, potential for one of two things here. Now, obviously, this is a tough market to short, right? We're clearly in an uptrend, and, this has been the market, guys, where when you think we're due for a healthy pullback, she just keeps on going forward. So, I definitely do think we could continue to climb forward here, guys. We did get the nice flush back to the 21 the other week, and you got the next leg to the upside. So, I'm open-minded, certainly, to the idea here that this recent leg continues to pump to the upside. But at the very same time, guys, I'm also open-minded to us just losing some steam here and getting a nice reversion back down to the 21. So I'm really looking at the market right now from the lens of, hey, we can go either way. So let me just focus on the best setups and then wait for confirmation from the market of when it's a good time to take an entry. So this is really important to me right now, guys. Seeing immediate signs of continuation here in tech. If we begin to kind of chop back and forth, we begin to lose steam, and you just get a growing probability that you're going to get that reversion to the mean. So the setups I'm focusing on, let me show you guys my sheet here. Got a couple of beautiful daily squeezes, and you got Papa John's Pizza, you got Visa, you got NOW, but mainly, guys, Google and Amazon here. These two daily squeezes are, my major focus at the moment. We did a good job of hitting Tesla. We'll see where Tesla goes over the next few days. But these two right here, Google squeeze, Amazon squeeze, I love them. Let's take a look at them. Beautiful setups here, guys. Here is, let's clean all this crap up. Here's the Google daily squeeze, right underneath all-time highs. Beautiful setup. Here is the Amazon daily squeeze. Right? Nice looking setup right underneath all-time highs. Here's the problem, though. Microsoft are not so much the problem, but, the major thing to keep in mind right now, both of these setups, and not just Amazon and Google, but a lot of times, guys, most of the setups we're looking at, they need the market behind them. So what I'm saying here is, imagine that just overall, we're losing steam here in technology, and over the next couple of days to a week, we begin to get that reversion down to the 21. Well, if that's the outcome here, guys, in that instance, it's going to be very difficult for Amazon to go ahead and fire that squeeze to the upside. Rather, if the Qs are coming in, there's a better likelihood that Amazon does very much the same thing. It makes a little trip back home here to the 21 EMA. Same case, I think, here for Google. If the Qs begin to fade from here and we see, some profit taking in tech, it's going to be a difficult move here for Google to try to go against the flow, go against the grain, and fire that squeeze to the upside. In the event the Qs do begin to fade off, more than likely, guys, to see Google come in here as well. So keep these things in mind. That's kind of my perspective right now, guys. I like taking action in the market once we've gotten that healthy reversion to the mean. That's where I went into Tesla with good size, some Google calls I locked up this morning. Once we get that nice healthy flush, we can get some fresh momentum as we make that next leg to the upside in this beautiful trend. As we're kind of in the middle of that leg to the upside, we just want to take a closer look, guys, at, where's the money really going here? Just make sure we don't get caught slipping, and we don't want to structure trades that would, wipe us out in the event we do get that flush to the 21. So those are my thoughts, guys, and we'll see what the next couple of days bring us. As far as, entries, exits here, however you go about swinging these, my advice would be to give them time. Right? Don't go getting Google calls, put credit spreads, for next Friday. You do that, guys, you're running the chance of, again, if the Qs do begin to come in here, if you only got a position till next Friday, you might get caught up in that. Where with Google, what I did this morning was I closed profits on the 1485 calls, and I rolled some of those profits over into the September expiration 1500 strike calls. So we're going all the way out to the end of September, not only giving this thing all the time in the world, but I'm going nice and deep in the money. That means I can survive crap like today, guys. Making a good move, you get the big flush of the market, but those calls are only down about 9%. So with those in the monies, the monthly expirations, you're not going to get your 300-400% return. But on a pricey option, guys, to be able to manage that risk a little bit better, avoid some of that crazy theta, and you get a good bang for your buck if you catch the move, that's just my preference. So let's see, what do we pay for those Google calls? And the beautiful thing is, guys, if I can manage these calls well, even if I take about a 50% loss between the Google calls I closed this morning in my girlfriend's account and the Tesla profits I closed last week here in my account, I'm going to be green overall. So not to call this a free trade, but if I can, in the instance, or in the event Google comes against me here, if I can cut her for 50% between those three trades, I'm still green nicely. We're moving the ball forward. But let's see, guys, what strike did we get? We got the 1500s, and we got 81.70 average cost, right? So we're down like 10% here at the close. We'll see where we go for the next couple of days. But those are my thoughts, guys. This is just a market that never seems to stop. Just higher, 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 higher. We get our healthy little flush to the 21. Higher, higher, higher. So now that we got all these nice setups, right? Daily squeezes in Visa, NOW, Papa John's, you got some beautiful tech setups like the Amazon daily squeeze, such as the Google daily squeeze. A couple more here. We got Facebook on the 4-hour. Good looking squeeze. You got Apple on the 4-hour. Good looking squeeze. Two setups, guys, that tried to fire to the upside today. Just didn't have, the overall market behind it. So for all of these setups right now, if tech continues to pump forward, we can definitely see this Apple squeeze fire to the upside. We can definitely see the Facebook squeeze, the Google squeeze, etc. But plain and simple, we need money going into tech. So keep that in mind. Last piece of advice here, guys, be safe over the next couple of days. We are rolling into the monthly expiration here. So quick lesson for you guys, you take a look at the options chain, and you can see that this coming Friday is the expiration for the monthlies. Right? So we got the August monthly expirations. One thing you guys want to note here is where the majority of the volume is. All right, now, while that volume, guys, can be buying, a lot of times it can also be selling. Where, in other words, this ain't big money buying these 470 calls. This is big institutions selling those calls by the boatload to your average retail trader. So when we can see huge volume on those out-the-money calls, maybe it is buying. And if it is buying, hey, maybe there's a good chance, guys, we get that move towards 470. If it isn't buying, though, right, and the majority of that volume is just institutions selling those calls to other traders, then there's going to be a lot of, excuse me, guys, there's going to be, a lot of motivation for the big money of the market for Apple to close under 470. Right? If they're selling people all those 470 calls that expire here this month, right, and they've been selling people those calls for the last handful of weeks, their best interest is to close under 470. So those things can expire worthless, and they can collect all that premium there. Facebook is a good example. Microsoft as well. You look at Microsoft here for this Friday's expiration, you got 21, 34, 13,000 on the volume for these out-the-money strikes. So if I'm a big institution, right, and I've been selling on people all these calls, into this recent momentum here, I'm looking for a close under 210, right? If I can do a job here, make sure Microsoft closes under 210, these bad boys go into zero, they collecting all that premium. So as we approach the monthly expiration, that's something you guys want to keep in mind. Look at the volume on the options chain, assume that it's big money selling those strikes, and then figure out where would be the max pain for anybody who bought those calls. So any call buyers for Microsoft, right? People holding Microsoft calls heading into this Friday for this month's expiration, max pain for them guys is going to be a close under 210. Because then all that volume, all those options go into zero. So something to keep in mind, guys. And that's it for today, fam. Your boy's wiped out, ready for bed. I'll keep you all posted on that Google trade. I'm going to be patient tomorrow. Would like to get some spreads on, start collecting some premium here. All depends on how the market goes. So I'll keep you guys posted. If you haven't already, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. And if you haven't already, you can check the family out at focustrades.com. You can check out our private $10 a month group, private Discord chat. You can join me during our pre-market morning live streams. We got live trading sessions, guys. I usually trade first hour and a half or so live with the group. If you're new to trading, you can access our 5-week options course, our video library, all that good stuff. So as always, guys, you watch these videos, I appreciate the heck out of you, and I'll talk to you in the morning for morning prep. Rest up, let's kick tomorrow's ass.